Okay, let me grab last week's thing. The heck did we do? We did boats. All right. Clean my fingers here. Everything up and ready. Who we got? Ellen's here. Ellen, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you, Jim?
I am really good, really good. Uh, I guess really good. Come here. I'm alive. We're going. We're
I
painting.
know. I'm
We're
really good
painting.
too.
We got to be happy. We're painting. Uh, hey, I liked your painting from last week really a lot. I thought you really nailed this
Oh,
boat, and I like the way you minimalize this area here down here in the area. Smart thinking. One of the things back in here, you could always add more stuff, just little cuts of color to break up that some of the things you had going there. You had a nice, really nice orange uh, tone here, uh, and you were smart about taking this thing out too. I thought that was really, really good, and overall, really super well drawn and stuff. So good job on that. Let's see. Sarah's here. Okay, people are coming. I thought for sure I scared you guys all away with putting up a bear, going, okay, a bear in water. You guys finally get the theme of the winter of the summer, water, kind of thing. We hit a lot of water, didn't we? Boats. We did dog swimming. We did other water scenes. So water was in there. Just happy accident, really. Uh, this last one, this last one's kind of going to put it all together, hopefully. Uh, one more thing about painting water reflections and you know uh, translucency, a little translucency, uh, and we're going to try to have fun with things, even though that's it. The weird thing about what we're going to be painting, it seems pretty bland. Tell you does not just jump out at you saying, "Oh, I got to paint this. I got to paint this," and then there's not a whole lot that you think you can chew on here on this painting. Um, but we're going to change that. You're going to look at this thing a little differently after we go through it. You're going to go, "Oh shit, that's really complicated." And I go, I hopefully that's what I'm saying. It's going to be complicated. No, it's not good. It's more complicated than it seems. Yeah, the imagery is pretty simple. Just a bear coming at you, and in the colors, black and white, grays, the value tones, everything's really pretty much, pretty dark. I mean, I would say 8.5. I mean, really pretty dark. Not a, we're gonna have to let the color itself sing. That's the thing when you get all these darks, going on here that are pretty much this, value wise are really in this darker range. You gotta the color has to come through to make a difference. Warms and cools versus warms versus cools really help make the color stand out, and that's what we're going to be really hitting today on this one. Yeah, because we got basically you got a V, so the drawing shouldn't be too tough, right? I mean, it's just the design, you know pretty simple. 1/3, 2/3. Got the 2/3 up here, everything down here. 1/3 is boring. It's definitely quiet water, not much going on to it. Don't have to do too much. That's a good place to think about this. Going, okay, don't have much to do there. We got tons to do the other 2/3. That's okay. You got to have places where the eye can rest in a painting, or it just gets chaotic and it doesn't really read. Um, and that's where this guy comes. He's really simple. It's just like I said, a V, basically a V coming down here, just off centered a little bit, just enough. It's off centered just enough here that he's not directly on. It probably wouldn't even be bad if he was in the middle. Sometimes, I try to work around not being in the middle, but sometimes there's no way around it. And sometimes, if that's the way it is, then you go with it and you go with it hard, and you show you that you meant it, and that's fine then, as long as you mean it. You're not just like, oh, it was an accident. It's in the middle. The big, strong reason I put it in the middle is because I was going to shove it in your face, whap, that kind of stuff. Okay. All right. Hey, we only got half a bear to paint. Other half's underwater here, right? So we got only this half. Everything else is underneath here. So we should be able to paint this in half the time. That's the way it works, right? Yeah, I wish. We also, so you can see, we still have the reflection to deal with. Okay, this is a good point here on this guy. Reflections. Usually, this is kind of it's a little strange here because usually the rule of thumb on reflections is darks go lighter in the water, one step. Lights go darker in the water, one step in reflections. So you can see like here, this spot reflecting down here. This is darker. This is a little darker than the light here. But in this reflection, how close it is, you could see this water is a lot darker than almost the tone of the bear, which is kind of, breaks that rule. Rules are made to be broken, right? So think about it, look at it, going even, that's okay. Sometimes it could be just photography too. That's the way things get. Maybe whoever did this, maybe, darken in that area, trying to get that head to pop. We'll think about it. Maybe we have to do the same. We don't have to keep lighting it up, which wouldn't be bad. It would work. It would still work. But I think if the reason it was dark is because it's really making these highlights pop. One of the things we're going to do when we paint this is not worry about the highlights. Okay. We're not worrying about highlights at all. We are going to just concentrate on the bear. We are going to come back in and put the highlights in afterwards. By the way, we painted our dog earlier. We're going to just remove some paint, and then put it back in. That way we can get everything underneath these reflections, consistently painted. So we don't have a lot of dots and dashes up here yet. We can keep it nice and clean, and then we can have our options to do what we want. Okay. That's the one thing I want to do and love to do about painting, is have extra options instead of just going with the basic ones where you just put paint in and that's all you can do. Take paint out. That's another option. Being able to go all the way back to the beginning and redo it is always a nice option. Not always the right one, but got to do it. All right. So black and white values, again, very dark. Going to be on this dark side again. Down here, eights, nines, pretty much for the whole painting. Everything, these really dark eyes and ears and nose and stuff, really down here closer to 9 than 8 even. Basic tone in here and in the water, closer to is an 8. The highlights, though, the gray masses of the bear itself, 6. The highlights in the water, 3s. You can do them all at 3. You don't have to go to 2s or anything else. It's really that simple. You can stay here in a nice simple 3, maybe just a color change, but stay at 3. Try to use color to give you depth instead of trying to use this lightness to give you depth. That will be more important. That will work out so much better, especially in that kind of a small area. Color wise, again, we got brown against green with some nice highlights of a blue sky, a blue gray sky, right? You can tell this is not a sunny day. This is a gray day, or yes, it's a gray day. You can tell by the reflections over here on the side of the fur. He's really giving you that real color that's really happening there. You can see that blue gray sky there. So definitely be looking at that. Darks, again, looking at how dark those eyes are. There's not a whole lot there. There might be a hint of water reflection in that eye. That's the eye. If I slowly drift out, you can see it there. Over here, you don't see a whole lot more. There's not a whole lot we're not given a whole lot on this for details. I don't think this person wanted to get too close. I don't know why. I have no idea. In the nose, this is a pretty good example of what I talk about, putting red in the middle of the nose, taking you inside. You can see how dark it is on the outside here. You can see the warmth here, the kind of darker, warmer gray to black here, and then right in here, you can see that little bit of red here and stuff. It's a red, turns into a kind of a purple, so looking for, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, guys, I know I do. This is going to be really kind of interesting because yesterday I was painting horses, and basically I just took my paint I had from leftover, and I just made some swatches and put them up against this bear. Colors are almost exactly the same as what I was painting yesterday. So we should have it should work. It should work. colors and stuff. Yeah, we're gonna get some really nice temperature changes between this nose. Boy, this nose is you know you gotta see a few colors in this nose here. Um, you can't paint it too bland. You gotta be able to get these. What's my thing here? This highlight at the front. Right by the right by the edge of the skin of the nose, and then going drifting back. This is pretty much the same color drifted back, and you can see how dark it is compared to it. And that just is going to help you get some distance in this nose, or else it could be very flat. So that's what I'm trying to say is look for uh, some nice value changes from here to there, even with this little swatch here. And then finding the structure even in a flat kind of nose like this, that it's not really flat or it's not really round. It has a shape to it, and it catches light differently on each shape, um, side of the shape. So we'll be going over that. The big thing about this guy drawing wise, is this. You got the nose. After you get this nose centered up, if you go kind of straight back, almost straight back, slight angles, they're going to take you to his eyebrows. His eyebrows, are going to pretty much, tell you or help tell you where the edge of the nose is really going to tell you where the eyeballs are. But these on the edges of this ramp of his nose here, coming back, this ridge is the eyebrows. And then on the outside edges, you're going to find the edges of the eyes. Those eyes, if you are no bigger than their nostrils. Boy, you can see a lot. You know, you could see the orbital socket very clear on these guys. You can see how dark it is right here, and you can see how light it is. You can just see this ridge here is the bone, which is also the eyebrow. And then down in here, you can see the change of light from that skin flapping over towards the eye and the eyelid here. So you could sort of feel it. So there is a good change from here to the regular face, the flat face of the bear. So little things like that. Not much difference than painting a dog, except for there's a big round fluffier one, and I don't think you want to pet it. So otherwise, colors again, definitely going to try to keep it down to the phthalo greens and the reds. Definitely will make all these browns. Try to finding this water green. The one thing I would say, if I don't hit the right green and stuff, it's still gonna be okay. The one thing to think about is that this area down here is a little boring. One of the things too, to get it, just to give you a little more, depth, I'm gonna darken in the back bottom here just a little bit more than it is, and then and gradate it back a little bit. That will give this water out. Right now, this water could drop off if you don't paint it right, and it doesn't really show that to you in the photo as much as it will in the painting. So we will take care of that. Other things, little things. That's about it. Like I said, these highlights are just going to be changing a little bit. They're not. You might, they look almost like a mint green. So it tells me a lot. It feels a little mint. It looks a little purple. It looks a little bit. So we're going to have fun with that, but we're also going to have fun taking out paint too. So we might even be able to get that color just by taking out paint. But that would be, this is like one of the areas that you would paint because it is closest to us and it will come forward with paint. This area too, you're going to have to paint. We're going to have to paint around the outsides, definitely, around things like that. But these little dashes and stuff sometimes can work almost better, and they bring a lot of life to it by just removing paint. We'll look at that. We don't have to live with it. We can always change it. All right. And if you're just taking it out, just sometimes makes it easier to put the paint back in too. Okay. That's our big surprise ending here. I've not painted a bear in years and years, so should be fun, but not too different than a dog. Any questions?
James, I had one.
Okay.
Well, I was going to paint, since it didn't seem like there was a lot to it, I was going to paint it over an old painting,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know if it's going to work. Can I just show it to you real quick? Because if you don't think it's going to work, I think I'll start a new one.
Okay, 1 second. Let me get out of here. Okay, let me bring you up over here, Kathleen. Okay.
So,
oh, that's such a great painting, though.
Well, I thought it might work with the sunset, the woodsy thing in the back, but I don't know.
Hey, I tell you, go ahead and try it.
Try it? Yeah.
Go
I can
ahead,
always
try
do it the other way, right?
You can always repaint it. The snow at the bottom of the painting, pretty much you could use that as the flat color of the painting, and then the other thing is the arc. So it fits. Yeah, you're gonna have some fun there. Hopefully the paint's not too thick, but it's gonna probably add to the texture of the of the beast. So
okay. Well, I'll give it a try.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to use regular paint throughout the whole paint process. You won't be able to remove paint probably that much.
Yeah.
But you could try it. You never know. You might get something really cool. That's the thing, is you got to try it just to say, okay, it's not working. Okay. And then you go, okay, I won't do it.
Okay.
So I would say definitely try it.
All right. I just wanted to run it by you before I started it. And then,
well, good. That's the way I like things. I like things kind of run through me, that's the way, yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Thanks.
Let's move on and mix some colors up and have some real fun. Sorry, please. There you go. This should look pretty normal to you guys. We got our brushes out. We got some synthetics. We got our bristles. Definitely going to use some bristles on that back fur, boy. And I'm going to talk about that too. There's a thing about looking at that, the way that fur goes around his back here. How kind of layers out in rows of fat and skin. Staggering, when you put these guys in, you're going to be putting them in with a kind of a straight brush mark with the bristle. But when you get back over here, you got to stagger almost your brushes, almost like if you're doing brickwork and stuff, so you don't have the same mark or paint thickness above each flat of the skin here, so it does radiate out instead of going flat. Just thinking little points I was thinking about. Okay, we'll talk more when we do it. Synthetics, big brush, big ideas. Nice synthetics. There's some smaller brush synthetics for the eyeballs. I'm getting those guys in, and then our bunch of bristles just in case we can need to get to some things. Colors, definitely some fun colors again. Oh, I probably did not. That's what I the one color I was thinking, I had all the colors out. And the one color I did not put out was white. So we'll see how far we can go without white. So titanium white. God, it's really kind of dirty. Sometimes you just got to scrape it out. You can't go, especially with your whites, making sure that those are clean, pretty clean. Cad yellow light, cad red light. A little messy. Cad orange. This is ochre, yellow ochre, pale yellow ochre. Just basically yellow ochre with just a touch of white in it. That's, you know, that's all it is. This is oxide red light, alizarin crimson, cobalt blue hue, phthalo green on the blue shade, oxide transparent oxide red up there. And then I do have some burnt sienna up here. It's just cut. No, this is burnt umber. Sorry, burnt umber up there, but it's really close to being dead already. I mean, just dries up like nothing. I will be painting with safflower oil as my medium. Okay, so that's the stuff. That's it. This is our last class for the summer, so we're gonna make it a good one, right, guys? All right. I'll pull it up. There we go. All right. Pretty much, this is pretty good print of it, really. In fact, it's the green's off a little bit, brown's off, everything's off just a hair, just like, but it's all off consistently off. So it looks like a bear. Get off my last little oils here. Make sure I don't have too much baby oil in my brush cleaning on here. Okay, darks first, right? Roll with darks. Anybody want to give me a dark color in here they'd like to see in this painting? Okay, you all fail. That's it. There's no going back. You guys all will have to retake this class. Okay.
How about blue?
Blue. Very.
Blue and alizarin.
Oh, that was cheap. That was just too easy. Blue and alizarin. Smart move. Where would you put that, lady? Come on.
Maybe in the eyes. I don't know.
Come on. You know.
The nose.
The nose. There you go. Eyes, nose, a little bit in the water, probably. Yeah, good job. All right. We need another color. We got blues. We can keep going with a few blues, probably. Okay. It's early in the morning for you guys, so I know. We're going to go oxide red and blue. Since we have blue, keep them simple. Keep your palette simple. Keep it understandable for yourself. Maybe that pile is gonna, I don't know, for some reason making small piles. You don't really see this color, so I'm going to blue it up a little bit more. It can be found in some of the spots in the ears, maybe. This one. This guy, a little bit more. He's going to be a little bit more in this painting. A little bit of that blue. Oh, boy. Yeah, he could. This pile. Okay, I'm going to make a little bit bigger pile. This is blue and oxide red light. And I'm putting a little bit more. It's that color I can see in the face a lot, but I was definitely going to go on the green side, do all these same colors and green them. Instead of blue, use green, phthalo green. So alizarin and blue, of course. This is one of my classic colors I love. One on the alizarin side. So we can get a nice purple. That's still on the green. There you go. I can start to see a little bit more purple showing up, a little more on the alizarin side. This one's really probably too much on the green side. Again, this dark here, and the alizarin and blue, I always kind of find is one of my darker colors, but these guys are really right there with it. I just find these ones, just because the color is somehow cleaner and stuff, shoots back farther than these guys. These guys are kind of more grayed out. Okay. The other color we're going to go with, and I probably should make a bigger pile of these colors too, is again oxide red and phthalo green. Oxide red light, phthalo green. This could be Terra Rosa too. This could be Venetian. Just put enough green in that so it doesn't read too red. And it looks a little too red. Yeah, it's a little too red for everything. So I'm going to put a little more green in it. Ooh, not that much. And gray it out. And this is going to be the green side. So, and like I said, I'll take these colors down to about an 8 with just, split them up. So now there you go. Now that you got enough green and it took the tinge out of it, of that red. Even though you like some of that red come through here and there, but that's your bear. There's your bear right there. Just lightening these guys up. Maybe we're gonna have to find a few highlight colors and stuff, but we'll find them. So we're gonna split these piles. Doesn't have to be too big. That was nice. Okay. I can mute y'all if I have to. So, all right. So we're going to bring these guys down. Like I said, just bring them down here and we're going to make them a value of 8 or 9. So we're talking just a little bit of white. So that's why maybe a small thing like this might be okay. It says a little bit of red into it. That's almost too much right there. That's right there. That's it. So it's barely putting enough white in it that the color of this shows through. It becomes black.
You go back.
A second. Okay. All right. Just got to mute you guys. All right. So I'm just going to add just enough white, be able to get it off black and get it in the color. Because now all of a sudden this purple can work in here. Purple red can work. Probably should have got a little more purple out of my knife here. I wiped it off, but I did not get it all out. This is on the green side. Well, this is blue. That's why. Okay. I was thinking that was the green. And I'm going, oh my God, I didn't do that. But yeah, That's why this is blue. I'm gonna add just a little bit more blue, but this is blue and oxide red. I kept thinking it was green and oxide red. So it is gonna be cooler. It is gonna be a purple, but it's gonna be like a dead kind of grayed out purple. And again, yeah, it's up there close to 9, which is good. That means you can put it in a lot of these areas in the front foreface and things like that. Oop, that's gonna be way too much. And again, this one, same thing. White is a cool color, so it is going to, you know, take these things on a cooler journey. That could be in there, that face. Definitely you can see it, start to see it around the eyelids, eyebrows in here and underneath. Yeah. It'd be nice if I would have made just enough paint. But simple fix, simple mix. Okay, get that out of here. Next one, blue and phthalo green and alizarin. Gonna put just enough. Turn it. Ah, you can see this. This is a beautiful mix of alizarin and phthalo. It almost is a definitely purple gray. Definitely, you can find that all over in this areas. This one is probably going to be on purple side too. So you can see it how rich that is. That's just good difference though between these two. What I do miss though, I'm gonna add just a touch of green to this one up here. Make another one more. So I get this green. I need this color. Might be too light, but you're gonna need that for when you get to the highlights, even though it's in this family. So it is so it's on the little bit more on the green side. See, it's more of that. See? So that's just it. Same color, more white, phthalo, a little bit phthalo and stuff. So that's where we're heading. This one, phthalo green. Oh, and oxide red. Boy, this is a lot greener than I thought it was going to be. It's a little cool for everything. Okay, let's do the other one next to it. That's probably too light anyway. Bringing it in little by little. Okay, this is where I wanted that one to be. And that is your bear. So this green, I'm going to just put it up there. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to switch these two. And when I do this one again, I'm going to make more of that anyway. So I'm going to put a little more red into it, make a difference. So oxide red and phthalo green. And I'm just putting a lot more red into it. I think when I started making that one, I did do that. But it just seemed like it was going to be too strong. You know, it does. See how I can remember doing this. A few spots maybe you can get in there. And then I'm going to add just enough white to bring it down again. Same thing, this one over here, just a touch more white. Might be still a little bit on the red side. I'm gonna just steal it from up here because I know, well, we can steal from there. I know that's grayer. Gray it out just a little bit more. And this is the thing. As long as I consistently go with these colors, it will work. That will work. This will work. This is definitely on my screen. This is the right color. So like I said, this is a little dead. That's all. All right. So there's your bears, except for his nose and stuff. I wanted to use a few of these colors to find the nose color. I definitely want to try a few of these. I know this has to be one of them. I'm going to bring it down here, a piece of that. Probably bring it counter balance, a little more green. I'm going to come over here and do the same over here. This is a little blue on the blue side and things. I'm going to add, basically, I could use definitely ochre and white would be a good shot at getting some of this area. Definitely ochre and white. Okay. Well, let's try this one. This is green and a little greener in ochre. The ochre might not do make it much more than green. So this is ochre and white. Yellow ochre and white. This might, like I was going for the muzzle, but it might end up in the back fur. Might need a little bit more white. Let's try these guys. These are the blue, same colors, oxide red, blue. These are oxide red, green. Definitely all over some of that stuff. And then this one, like again, a little greenish and doesn't seem to be in here too much. So I might I'm going to shift this around and put some orange in it. Okay. Now, just by putting orange in it, it fits. It's going to get into this nose area. A few of these other colors too. Then we'll get the water. Some of these colors definitely would take a piece of them and break it down. I'm looking more for the nose, which is in the higher values of 4s. So basic colors, those guys just are close, but not quite there. That can start to get in there. And if nothing else, it's going to get in the fur. Probably be the final spots. This is almost the same thing as that one was. It's just a little bit green. But if I put enough white into it, let's see where it could go. It has a little bit of fun puttiness to it. That could be just a little less white though. Maybe just bring in got to bring it back a little bit. What did I put in there? I put in ochre. I'm gonna put a little more ochre into this just to warm it up. And now it should fit in there a little bit better. coolness. That is definitely fur color in the back. You can really caught it. This was on the blue side of over here. This is on the oxide red and blue. That's a little cool, but we'll see. I'm gonna just touch it, warm it a little bit. Again, with a little bit more ochre white. And then this one, this is what I was shooting for right here, this color here. Is being really close to what I need. In the nose, and all of a sudden the color's just not kind of petered out on me, but it's really close. Okay. I added cat orange to that. So basically the white just kind of pushed the cat orange out. So I'm gonna just have to split that pile, add a little bit of more cat orange. I'll go through this mix. This is a weird one. I'm trying to get to this color using my colors instead of just mixing it separately. That's really close. I'm going to steal a little back from it and gray it out. Bit better. All right, the green water. We don't, definitely. We got to have I like to have two. Gonna have to have, like I was talking about, a little bit darker green here in the bottom, and a little bit more, just a little lighter in the back. So I'm going to start off with phthalo green. And then I got transparent oxide up here. I'm going to mix those two together here. Yeah, that rich green. Before I go mix that one, I want to lighten this. Then I'll take this one. As you can see, when I lighten it with, you can see that green start to shoot through. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I might be pretty happy with that. Over here, again, this is going to be on the blue side, so it's a little cooler. Now, I'm going to do a little test over here because I'm not sure if it's going to be white. What white's going to do to it like that? It's going to just cool it off too much. Yeah, it's going to cool it off too much. So if I had yellow and white, or is it just going to be yellow? Starts to get it there, but let me see just yellow on its own. There you go. Push that, leave that there. It's not gonna, maybe I get to use it, maybe I don't. So we've got these really darks. Let's see what happens here. We're gonna split these piles. This is on the blue side, transparent oxide and blue. This is a little more transparent oxide, but that green is so strong, it's not gonna let a lot through. Just adding enough yellow to this color to get it to this value. Right now it's at 10, needs to be at 8. So I'm just bringing in enough yellow to get it there. Really pretty close. I like that. Just don't want to, it's easy to overshoot this one. A little bit little bit more. And that'll be it, right there. Well, let's see what this one does. This is on the bluer side. That is way too much. Not a whole lot of difference. So I'm going to add just a little bit more green to this one. Oops. Oh well. And then I'll add some more yellow to it to get it value-wise pretty close. I'll be able to go cool and warm as long as they're, oops, that white out of here, yellow. Just a little touch. So these guys are pretty doggone close. Just a slight change. This is just a little Carrot Kelly green for me. I'm gonna put just a touch of cad red into it. Probably both. Why I'm doing it on this one for sure is because it's cooler, and to make up for it, I do have to do it on this one too. So yes, warm the two up a bit. Get them a little bit closer. I'm gonna take and just lighten them up with a little bit of white now. Take a piece of these guys, these piles, and lighten them up, and that should be it. Just a touch of white, just a touch of white, not too much. This will give me 4 colors here to play with that water. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors to work on that water down there. Yeah, see, just a touch of white really will help you get a few of the scratches down in here going across and stuff. So maybe just a touch more than that. Really taking its time. Really good, strong colors then. They don't just move really quick. A lot of good pigment in them. This one moved a little bit better. Yeah, this is pretty much just kills the color just a little bit, and that's beautiful. We'll see. I think that's pretty much all I'll need for that. And then the last little thing is some highlight colors. Easily done. We're just going to take these phthalo greens and lizards, and then just add white to them to about 3. Close to 4, but that might do it too. One, you're going to get a little bit more blue. Pretty close. Just a touch more white. Clean white would be great. Let's see, this is the red side. And that's all the white I have. So that's it. That class is over. This has to be, we have to hit home runs right here. Okay. Back in there. We are done. I might go, you might go just a little redder on that very back fur area. It might be just a little rich. But back in here, just a little bit. So it's in there. These colors are in that reflection. You might even find this oxide red and blue here in that reflection too. This gives me sort of the same color, but just a little bit more grayed out. Yeah. We might go just for the fur. I'm talking fur. I'm not talking water collective in the fur there. Could get into this blue purple. Grayed out blue purple. So we'll go. And that is it. That's all we need. I'll go through the colors with you guys. Up here, we started off with Kathleen calling out cobalt blue and alizarin, bringing them down to an 8-ish, soft, more 9-ish, but they're probably 8 for sure. These guys are. Then we went with oxide red and blue here. This is, I kept them on the red side. So yeah, this one I added a little bit blue to when we added white to it because I could see it in some of this fur in the front here. Okay, and then this is the red one. So then we repeated those colors with green instead of blue. And so we have blue, green, phthalo green, and alizarin. Just a little bit too much alizarin, so I added some green to it when we got down here. And it worked out better up there. And then you could see how we started getting them. We're going to get to here by just adding more white. Oxide red and phthalo green. This is an interesting color because it's just, it's going to be a lot in the spare when it gets down to in here. This might be a little too rich, but that one soften it out. The green will soften it out. So that one worked out really well. The nose, we worked out a few things. We took these red greens, these two green, and brought them over here, and added white to them. No, we didn't add white. We used white and ochre. We added to them. And got them here. This one didn't do anything, so I added some cat orange to it. And then when I added white to it, it just kind of just went too far. Just didn't, the white just took over. So I took a little bit over here and just added a little bit more cat orange to it to get the nose. These guys might end up being the same thing over here. I might have to come back and take a piece of orange, cat orange, and add to these guys too. I wouldn't mind doing that. If it gets me to the nose, that's this nose color here. That's all it is. That's all I'd be doing. In our last, getting the water color, it's really kind of rich. I wanted to try to stay that way. Instead of just going blue and yellow and making green, I went with green and brown. Our transparent oxide. Transparents have them just a certain translucency to them that is beautiful in the water. So these two being translucent should have a lot of fun things going on in this water. I added yellow to it. I split them and I added yellow to them, and I just wanted to get them to an 8. That's what this water is, an 8. I came pretty doggone close, maybe a little too rich, but these two I think are going to cancel each other out a little bit. Then I added just a touch of white to them, just a touch, not too much at all. If I needed anything, I might add some more yellow to it, but that's if we go anywhere. All right. Then over here we took, looking for this water reflection at the end, I took the phthalo green and alizarin mixes, those 3, and put them down here and added white to them to about a 3. That's a 4, maybe even 5. That's a 4, and that is closer to a 3. So probably could have used more white, but I have not putting out white. I'm done. Alizarin, and this came from over here. These guys too, because I was looking at the bear because I wanted that color looks great here, but sometimes when it gets to here, it's not going to work. So I went a little bit warmer and came back with oxide red, light, and blue mixes, and all the way up to about a 3, 4. Okay, 3, 4. That will be for this water on the outsides of this guy and probably in his head. That's what I'm thinking about, the brown bear and stuff. So that is our color mixes for this painting. Our last one for the summer. We start new classes next week for you guys better sign up or I'm gonna be broke. I'm gonna have to go do something else. Here we go. Let's put this away. Let's see. I think that's that. Just back up, get everything running, and we'll be off ready in a second. You know, no matter how fast I try to get this to this stage and get going, you know, it seems like it's always takes an hour mixing colors to getting here. I'm gonna try and bring in a little closer on this one. I think this is gonna be a fun one, really do. This is gonna be one of our classic paintings. Maybe. We'll see. Bring that one up. All right. Like I said, the layout on this one's pretty easy. I'm going to just tone it with transparent oxide. Keep it a little in that warm tone already. So I'm going to keep that going because it should feel good all the way through. And the one thing I might do on when I'm doing this and knocking it out, I might tone it down a little bit darker even at the bottom. And for people like Kathleen, who's painting on an old painting, which is very, hey, stuff costs money. We got to save some money here and there on some of these things. So getting rid of reuse. I've done it. I've done it in this class this year too. It's can be fun. It's kind of challenging, in fact, because of you've got to figure out if something in the background of your painting is going to work on the new painting. And that's the fun part is really kind of seeing if it does. If it does, you got this little, hidden idea in your gem of an idea in your painting that maybe no one will ever see, or maybe someday an historian will look at your painting and say, we took a x-ray of it and there's another painting underneath. They do that all the time. There's this really cool show on can only get it right now. It's on YouTube called Fake or Fortune. And I
love that show.
It is so interesting, isn't it?
I love that show.
Yeah, I love the science behind trying to find out if it's a forgery, old master somebody found in a thrift shop is a real painting, or is it a knockoff? Mm-hmm. And they use all the scientific things about that paint was not invented then, so it's a fake. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But every once in a while they find real ones, real paintings by famous artists, and they go, "Oh crap! You found that for $5?" Yeah, or £5 because it's English. Mm-hmm. It is cool. All right, like I said, 1/3, 2/3 for this. This water here. definitely keep it, don't make it too even. Because it was even, and I on purposely made it, took it, and made it twist a little bit more. And I'm going to take it twisted a little bit more again. The more twist you get in it, the better probably it's going to end up being. Well, let's take it twisted down a little bit. One of the things I'm going to do at the end is I'm going to put a paw in here. Translucent paw. So like I said, this is 1/3, slightly off a little bit from center. Center would be probably about here. So I'm going to start the nose off center, off right here. So from that, I'm going to go up to the angles. I'm going to split that in the middle. Okay, so we got basically a V here. You know, if it came down here, it would be a V. Splitting it in half. That should be pretty doggone close to what we need here. You get that muzzle, the size of the muzzle and nose. That nose has to be split in half, right down the middle, almost. It's going to give me just a slight tilt to it, a little thing like that, but basically one nostril's on one side equal to the one nostril on the other. And so it's just that little bit of, light in the middle between the two nostrils, separating them, and it should come down right on that line. You do that, and then basically you're going to get from here, you're going to get the edge of the nose from that nose. That's, like I said, going to come back and the eyebrows or bones should start to come off that. You start to get the side here. You're going to get a little bit of the side of that nose, and it's going to come down here a little bit to the sides, and then you get the full width of the nose. Just a little bit. Yeah, everything looks like it's flat, right? Everything looks like it's flat. You look at this shot, that nose looks like it's just flat in the water with the front of this nose, but it isn't. From this edge of the nose right here to back here to the edge here, there's a slight little angle that gets lost in the reflection. And there's just a little bit of a lip, and then the rest of the nose coming. So that comes back there, and that tells me exactly where that eyeball is. And that eyeball should be right here at the ridge of the nose, right? And so this one should be almost exact same. After this comes in, get a little diamond. Basically, there's a little diamond here. Diamond right about here. And that's the under part of the eye. It's not really the eye, it's eye socket, basically. Gets the nibble off the sharp point it would be. And then it's the exact same thing up here. And then the eyeball, like I said, that nostril size right here is really the eyeball size. That's how small those eyeballs are. It seems but it's just such a big bear. That's why it's so relevant. to it. Eyebrows come out. And just get a little bit of eyelid going around, a little bit underneath here. And that's it. Everything else is over. No, then you get the flat of the head. The head on this thing is almost 3/4 of this shit. This spot to the top is almost 3/4, probably 2/3. I'd make it 2/3. Give me enough room here. So yeah. So 2/3 here, 2/3 there. So this is going to be that's all in here is all forehead and crown of the beast. Say the crown just because right here is the other split in the bone section. And I just know all this stuff just because of our dogs and stuff. Basically, they're have a real lot of similar features. Everything across, everything you follow this going back that line going back all the way through. Fur is going to go that way. Fur is going to lean this way, and from here, everything's going to lean that way from there, and it just gets leaner and leaner all the way down here. So that's probably more than you guys needed to know. Okay, so the head comes out of here a little bit. Everything should be right about there. A little bit. Just a slight arc for the cheeks here and hitting the water. And we'll see how close I am. I might be off a little bit. Got the back, got a front here, and then a little cuts back, and then you get the back of the head over here hitting the water. Ears, basically if you follow this angle of the eyebrows, stuff coming back, that's pretty much where the ear is going to start to be. And a little taller than you think they are too. They look a little squat. They are pretty tall, in fact. This one's a little higher. Okay. And then from there, it's just a little bit of skin here. Different here. Then you got the big hump. And it just runs between the two ears here, basically. The highlight hitting, and then the darkness where it's going to be right in here of the patch. And that's about it, really. I mean, maybe just a little bit more, but if I'm missing anything, heck, And then on the sides of the here coming out, basically from the stuff, it's going to just cut back in at the end here a little bit. Looks like my dog really swimming here. And the same here, it's just going to cut back a little bit instead of going all the way off. All of a sudden at the end here, probably about an inch and a half here, just twist it off, going around it off a little bit. They should be about the same. So this one just a little bit, and then you're going to have a highlight here also. So this one might go a little bit in there a little bit more. But that's basically the layout of it. Another little thing too. There. Making sure that when you do put this, probably ears probably might go up a little higher yet. Put that eye there probably a little bit wide. If anything, I think I'm probably going to lean on this. Basically, these eyes being a little bit even smaller than that. Let me see. That one has in there. That's why it's going off. Yeah. Okay. Simple little things. Clean up a little bit here. Like I said, I'm thinking also about putting in maybe a paw or something in here. There are some reflections coming down again on these side. They should come almost straight down, line up straight down, ear wise. Just at that edge of that line, that's where just a hair of things are going to come down. The nose is in here. So look, that's going to be in this reflection right there. There's also going to be these guys matching reflections from the sides here. This probably goes a little bit wider. There you go. So, but it's more from that one. And it's a little rounder too. That's where I'm probably getting a little bit too shallow here. Little things I'll catch. Okay. A lot of times I'll catch these things when I start to paint shapes more than drawing and stuff. So okay. So there we go. And all the highlights and stuff. So the first colors here, I'm going to change a little bit. Instead of doing colors, the first colors, I'm going to go down and do the greens. I mean, the water greens. Now I'm going to start off with the really dark darks. I'm going to lay them in at the bottom here. Very bottom, probably about 2 inches up. For me, I'm using a 20 by 16. So just doing this, and I'm just going to soften it coming up. That is the green side. And basically I got the color it mixed with right here. So I'm just going to just take it up a little bit. Starting off green is pretty bold. I should have, thought about it with my brush. I'm probably just going to switch brushes here before I get to browns. So I'm just going to tone it on the outsides a little heavier, so it's a little bit darker when I get going here. I'm going to take this color up a little bit too. Just thin it out a little bit, but I can start to, even with these browns in here, the reflective colors and things that are going to be happening here. I can put this stuff in. I'm going to put it into these browns here. Where I'm going to be putting a lot more bare color in. Like the reflections of the sky in here, are pretty strong. So these two should also be the same on each side of the nose. So distance wise, this was short compared to this one. These two should line up a little bit. Then just goes back a little bit here. Okay. I'm just gonna basically run everything on my brush here. Just get the green tone in. Usually I would say, you don't need this, or you don't need this, don't need the background. This is just a nice warm up too. Uh, just getting the green in like this. So get your arm warmed up. So go right up to the highlight where the highlight's going to be. Just leave it though. You know, they're not painting around anything. It's a nice, simple way to get your wrist loosened up. And load some paint in to just some of these little darker areas that are, you know, gonna be there. Don't worry too much about the highlights. Gonna put just a little bit right here, darkness underneath his nose. Separate it out. Now, just I wiped out where the ears are gonna go and everything else, but it's like I said, it was kind of simple placement. They're just straight down, and you're barely getting a little bit of arc and stuff from what's going on here. So what I'm doing here is just playing with a little bit of the translucency of this paint. Both the colors uh, are transparent colors, so they're really can be really thin. So getting the whole variety of thick and thin without white and opacity is just like another level of really interesting marks for your painting. Now you can get that. You can't get them really too much at any other level after you start having you start bringing in those anything with white in it or yellow, cad yellow. Well, I haven't put any cad yellow in this one. That's why. As soon as I go to that, it's going to just gum up. It's just going to start grabbing interesting. Right now, they just kind of flow together, just like water. So that's why it's really good to get this in like now. Get a few strokes in, think about it, get some, and then we'll go from there. Okay. All right. So half the painting's done. Okay. Now we're going to go back in. We're going to go back and do what Kathleen told us to do. Blue and alizarin together. For the eyeballs, blue and alizarin. So we're going to start off with the blue side and put that in. Just mark the whole, eye here. These guys should line up too. They're just slight little, almost Well, I was thinking they're diamonds. They're really not. So push back a little bit here. I was trying to get some color right underneath their eyeballs into that. There's just that little blip of underneath the uh, eyelid here, right underneath their eye. And I was trying to get some, see if this dark would mark it, and going a little far, just like this one too far. Let's go for the other side. So we're gonna, the eyebrows will tell you if this is a mean bear or not too. So you want to wait around for this bear to hit short or not. Like I said, the nostrils, since he's breathing, are wide open, and they are pretty much the same size, if not bigger than his eyeballs. At least what we can see of his eyeballs, right? And they just have a little bit of on the outside here of the flesh here. You're going to find they just have that little cut here going around their nose here, separating the top part of the nose with the other part, fleshy part here, and that just opens up and closes. You can really smell. Dogs can smell. I think it was a huge amount. It's like 300 different scents. So these guys probably have a lot of the same things. So a little dark there, and then what do you say? Put a little red in the middle. So alizarin on the alizarin side. Yeah, you can't see it here. A little bit dark right now. Probably closer, just a tear. Might not be able to see it for a while. Okay. Uh, Next color. Those are those guys. I'm gonna also wait before I just jump out of here. I'm gonna go back with a little bit of blue and stuff, and just get the insides of their ear, middle part of the ear coming down too. That would be a great spot to get. That's not dark enough. Yeah, a little more red even in it. A little more alizarin in it on the inside of it. Okay. I'm going to also just run out my brush on this big pink piece of skin back here he has coming up. Looks like a pig. That could definitely be a pig. I'm just running out my brush, that purples and stuff. No, I just put a little bit more in because I was going, oh, wow, right here at the edge. It would be nice to be a nice transition between that brown fur and the other stuff here. It could be this purple. The difference between brown and purple is yellow. The amount, just a touch of yellow. That's why we can get a good transition between purple and brown. You take out red and you get green, basically. That's why the green goes so well for too. Yeah. Oh well. All right. Um, I'm gonna put just a little bit of more of that purple right here on his forehead too, because there's a little bit of water reflecting down on that wet fur here. So, getting it to kind of crisscross from the edges. Now it's not a flat, it's kind of a thing. Maybe in the middle here, it's going to be a little flatter right in here. But the fur is going to come in from the corners and it's all going to drag down to that one center point there. So just getting a little bit of that stuff in is always fun. Before we get to these other colors here, we're going to be doing a lot of the work. I might have really end up wishing. Oh, one more place. Sorry. I thought I was done. Another good place right here in the reflection. Right here on the edge of that reflection, if you can want to just put a little purple mixing in with the green, just push it to pull it down. Reflections kind of go straight down too. They don't, you don't get get a ton of it going across here. They usually, stroke wise, you're going to be doing vertical strokes on reflections. These coming down. That's how they just feel like they just read better. So I'm going to just keep this coming down. It's just mixing enough with this guy. Well, that's working out pretty well, in fact. All right, we're going to leave it there. I said that a while ago. All right, we got the green done. We got some of the darks done. We got basically getting these darks in just gives you the structure of the painting. You just can follow it a lot easier, as you paint. You don't get lost in thinking about where things are, and getting lost just eats up your time. All right. We are going to be going to the oxide red side of this, the oxide red and blue. This is the blue side. Definitely, this is one of the little areas I saw it is like underneath the eyeballs here, just on the blue side, on the wet side of this fur, down in here. I'm still going to put it in kind of thin, but you can start to get a lot of the shaping around this eyeball, this eye socket, and like that kind of stuff. Just bringing it in round and into the face here. Okay, just following that how these guys are taking it. Let the brush create the stuff too. So this one, like I said, might be a little, yeah, just a little high. So I got to bring it back down. So it's even with that one. Or my eyeballs probably could go up because I did say change it. This is going to be at an angle, so I should have probably. You're going to find that's what's going on here. That this eyeball is probably just a short half eyeball to an eyeball off. Should be up there instead of down here. Usually I'll find that stuff out later anyway. So get this stuff in, purples, greens in here. This is the straight, no white. Definitely going to find it all over in the ears. You could definitely, but we got to add a few other colors into it. We can't have it all this color. Got to find the warms in this color. And that's where you're going to find the red, the other side of this color. And then you're going to find the green, which is yellow or warmer, kind of a yellow warm side of the color. So all in this ear and coming out. A lot of this stuff here, just like painting the buffaloes. We've got to get these darks in and then just touch it up a little bit. Let it do all the work. And there you go. Just drag it up a little bit. Get this underneath the next rounds of fur. Get this kind of purple on it and into it. Right behind the ear too. This side, definitely from the ear back in this section here, and it's into the water, touches, and then the same over here. Section. This could go, it's probably going to end up being going a little bit wide. Looks like a short. And then right on the edge, I think we're good dark wise there. That definitely could probably end up getting around the eye, but I think it's going to go down with just a touch more white into it. Okay, this is the red side where it has a touch more red to it. This is definitely in the creases of things, like around the eyelid, eyebrow here, coming down. There's a little bit of warmth red. You might find, oh wow, right in the lower part of the eye. Yeah, you can barely see it, but right there you can see just a little bit of warmth, just a redder warmth than a warmer red warmth than down here where it was more alizarin. And so this is right here where gonna make a little bit section. You can just feel a little bit of just a change of temperature sometimes. Right here at the edge of the water where it hits the water, right here, just gets a little warmer. The fur does. And it's not by a lot. That's the thing, is subtleties in painting. Just a small change in temperature can really be the difference between a really winner of a painting to a painting that's, it's good, but this feels like flat. So this is just the warmth going in. So it's, like I said, you're going to see it in the ear here, on the inside of that ear. There's just, gets a little bluer on the outsides, but right here, making that difference. And it just doesn't have to be perfect. That's the thing, that's why I'm not playing too tight with it right there. Gonna bring it out, soften it up a little bit more. Goes in just slightly different places, you know, than the blue version. Trying to get it to show up here, right here. There we go. Thinking, keep that on the blue side, this going just on a little bit on the redder side of it, that color. Okay. Uh, well, I didn't do this yet. Just getting in the forehead, running the colors out, and then it will just start to take less and less. Everything will start meaning a little bit more when we start adding the white, but it should go pretty fast. I'm going to switch to a different brush. I got to get a smaller brush here, and just want to put in that nose. The next color here we're going to be going to anyways, phthalo green and alizarin. Yeah, it needs a little white to it. I'm just going to add just a touch of white to it. So I am breaking protocol here to just get this skin in. I always got to get this nose in. So I'm going to break it, paint the nose here a little bit. Phthalo green and alizarin. Just a little bit of white added to it, the phthalo green side here. Very nice darks here. So I'm going green here, and I'm going to go to the top of the nose. It's going to go more red, so it's going to go a little more alizarin. Light little different lobes to the top of the nose here. There's just a little indent in the middle. So this on the red side there, blue on the bottom. And then I'm just going to add just a touch of white. This would be pretty much what we'll be using for that stuff. So just going to add just a little bit, bring in a little bit of light into the nose here on the red side, basically phthalo green, alizarin, and white. And basically this is to about a 3. I did jump gun, but I did change brushes, so it's not on the same brush. Like I said, one side I'm going to keep a little bit more uh, red on that side, a little more green on this side, so it's a little grayer on this side of the nose. Soften the two together in the middle. And then I'm going to come down and just hit the skin on the inside of the nose, nostrils. And I just have to soften these two guys down a little bit, the edges paint. Come back and just, I'm gonna go a little farther. I'm gonna put in the reflection too. I'm just gonna wipe my brush here so I can get back to regular color. Come back here and go drop down and go to alizarin in uh phthalo green with just a touch of white in it. So and then I'm gonna go to that's a little stronger dark. Let me go back to its real dark right at the line here. Like, now I'm going to put just a touch of alizarin with a mix of white and blue and white. Um, just a little bit of that right in the middle of those noses. Just a touch of that added. Just a touch. Let me clean my brush. Touch of this is what I was talking about. Touch of oil. Just barely get a touch of oil on the tip of your brush before you grab your paint. And when you get into these wet places, you're guaranteed one spot. Not light enough. I guess it's the whole thing. I'm gonna have to lighten it up. I'm gonna lighten it up and redden it up. Just a touch of white. Try it again. It's just not getting the red I want. All right. Gonna leave it there. There we go. Okay. That's all we can do for the nose right now. Might need to lighten it. All everything I just did. I'm just gonna go one step lighter now. It's a reflection here. Okay. Just soften the outsides of the nose. I could go just a hair lighter too, most. This is where I get caught up. This is like finishing work. This is where I'll just get caught up touching till I can get it to the right value. And sometimes it's half values, quarter value. It's really, that's like I said, this where it really starts to come into play. All right, big bristle brush. Gonna go to, and we're gonna start working on this back fur here. Good sized bristle brush. So I don't get caught up too much in the details. Number 12 here, type size would be great. Going to be going to now to phthalo green and oxide red mixes. Going to go with the green side first and see what that does. See if I how much that's going to have to play in here. I'm going to just touch it in a few spots in here. I can see it pretty strongly. Little spots. Outside edge. Okay. Yeah, it plays about right. It's not a. Sometimes you just gotta switch the more red into it, and that means I got to take the red version and add more red to that. So I'm just putting that green right above that purple. So that purple take me in. Green will help out. It's going to bring out the red in that purple. Okay. As far as this stuff goes back in here, definitely not too many places, probably. Let's follow the fur. That just, again, everything kind of goes that middle line that splits this guy. Follow that, you should be really in good shape. This is what I was going to try and do, get this around the eyeball. So I'm going to use a little bit smaller brush again. This. And let this be gonna be probably a mix of this and its red counterpart part around these eyes. Just touch the sides there a little bit. Fit it in between those little dark marks and stuff. Definitely, you just want to come up to those marks and just let those marks really hold their spot. And just work the eye. Put the light around that eye a little bit. Okay, reading just a hair green. So now when I go to the red side, I'll probably come and bring back that red. Just come back in, hit these guys, and just a few spots here and there, and just take the green right out of it. So this is oxide red and green, but it's on the red side, just slightly more on the red side. This is probably the almost right where I was saying, no, this would be could be go on the more red side. So putting this in, I can see, yeah, I could probably add just a little bit. This is definitely more on the green side than it should been. That first color too. So I'm gonna go with this color as my my green side. So we're on green side. So this is just just a touch more red into my green. The green was just, I just overdid it. I know I was talking about that's doing that too. It's not bad in the ear though. I'm gonna say it works pretty good in the ear. But I don't have the red side now. So going around the face here, you're gonna just start to fill it in a little bit. Definitely, you're gonna start dragging it up a little bit from from the water, or flatten it out where it's catching it a little bit. Should have just a little bit bigger brush. Not quite that smooth size. And so I'm going to say, I'm going to mix one more color, just basically add some oxide red to this color. So you see that even that color coming through there behind here? You know, you can, it's interesting because that's really showing through. That's almost right. Okay. I think, yeah, I did it on the red side or the blue side, this color. Now it's got to do the same on the green side. Okay, but I'm going to look down in here. Definitely going to start to. Most of this painting is right here. It's really, uh, the darks. It's all darks. The midtones are going to go in a flash. They should not even be anything. It should be able to get this stuff. I'm going to use this color here for the highlights, for the bear here too, in the water here. So his ear's going to come straight down. Be nothing more than basically squares. Same thing here. Get down here. It's just going to just be the same thing. Let the colors mix a little bit. All right. Okay. Like I said, I'm just going to add just a touch more cad red or oxide red to this color. So it's just a little bit more on the red side. That's the color I'm missing. It's almost just a touch of green to it. Not as much as I was thinking there. Yeah. Might have to look at it. But it's going to get in here a lot more right in here. Yep. Start to see it right in there when you start to put it in here and stuff. It starts to vibrate against the purples and the greens and stuff. And, it just gives it a little bit of jiggle with the light. So that's why that's why I had to really go back in there and just try one more time with that. I'm going to take it up just a little higher too. This is probably a little short. Same everywhere a little bit. It looks like a little short on the ears, a little bit here too. So, okay. Get this side of the face. Then look in the middle here. Definitely, you can start getting to push some more heavier paint in this area for the darks. Definitely on this warm side here, going around this flat of his head over here. Definitely right there on that edge, there's a lot of warmth. Where it gets picked up a little bit over here, not as much, so it's going to be a little cooler on that side. I'm going to drag it into his eyebrows a little bit. As you can see, I've been leaving that space pretty much alone. But I'm just getting a hint of the color in there for the next color. So when we get to the lighter colors, I'm going to drag this too down into the nose area. Soften it down. And just follow my ridges I made for that nose. That should help, separate planes of the nose there. Just touch this, like I said, underneath here, a little bit more red in those guys. But I think I'm gonna get that color, this next color. Basically, I'm going from this color to this color with white. So, and it's gonna fill this painting up really quick. So that's what I'm going down here too. So this just has a little bit of white to it. This is a phthalo green, oxide red with white. And I think it's really close. Just might need touch just a hair more white. Yeah, so these little areas here underneath the eyes just reflect. Oh, that should be on the green side. That would be great on the green. That's where I can start to see the green. It shows. There we go. Here's that little flat. Let's try it up top here. I have to go a little lighter than that, but move a little faster. First, gonna give you the quick fur. Around the outsides, it should fit in on the green side back in here. Definitely should fill in right by the highlight where the water highlight's going to end up being. Work that color up a little bit. On this side, I'm going to keep it on the red side. Bring it up. Just trying to leave a little bit of, space there. See how close I can, get it without adding too much white. Edge of this ear here just should come out a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to put some of this color, these greens and stuff, opaques into the water here. Definitely reflective into that arcing shape here coming down in the nose. This is on the green side I'm using of this color. This is oxide red, phthalo green, a little bit on the green side, I guess. That's what I use down in here, but I use it pure. So Just a little more opaqueness to it, just almost changes the color without doing much. Same over here, same thing. Gonna come out a little bit of stagger it a little bit for the waves, for the water here. Get it in here to the nose. Maybe warm it up as it comes towards us. So it gets a little bit more red right at the end here. So the vein shape is on the green side. And then when it gets closer to us, it will just, you're gonna fade it to the red side when it gets closer. Stuff like that. We still got that kind of real kind of dark touching here a little bit. All right. Big brush, big ideas. Going to the next colors. Purples. Just a little bit of white. These purples are going to be almost like, can almost be, end up being highlights. If you get just a touch more white into them. We do have a little bit of lighter color. We got a lighter one coming in. So I'm going to speed up here a little bit. I am going to do a little phthalo green. I'm going to lighten that up just a hair more. Phthalo green and lizard oxide red. I need just a hair lighter for this spot, right in this flat of his head here. I want to lay some of that color down, bring it down here. And I just want a little bit warmer green than what we're going to be putting in here. But let's get moving. All right. This is the cool version. This is blue and oxide red with on the red side. Feel it going just a little more warmth. Just a little more oxide red into that color. Which doesn't go too purple. And this is the end, pretty much the end of the midtones. You know, that tone I have in there now that I've been underneath here is really close to what we need. So I'll try to get some of that in. We'll get to the water real quick. A little bit of this, you know, is just really repeats of the other classes too, of technique, of removing paint, the power of removing paint. And as you can tell, the same colors. I haven't really, you know, man, these colors are the same. We not added anything new to the palette. Everything's pretty much it. And next semester is going to be the same way. We start next week. I'm sorry about this, but I'm going to be out of town for October, so we're going to split up February or the fall section sessions. So you guys, we're going to have an early fall session, which starts next week for this thing. Sorry about that. But it's the only way I can get 5 classes in before I'm going to be gone all of October, pretty much. And then the last one is just pretty much to Christmas break. We will still be, going a little heavier with on the animal side of things. So pretty good and dark. I just think, you want to keep, you can start to see some shape even when it's this dark. That's good. That's pretty good. Because the light's going to really show up. Like I haven't even painted the snout, so that tells you a lot about the color. The color is pretty close. Okay. So we're going to jump into. I'm just going to paint a little bit more fur, and we're going to jump into some of the higher key things. I'm going to probably have to get a little bit of, work a little bit of snout color in here. I mean, it's real close, so it's just. This is color is that? That came from green. That came from transparent oxide. No, it's not transparent. It's oxide red and green with ochre in it. This is with ochre in it. This is on the red side. And it's just a little bit thing. So I'm just bringing up the eyebrows just that little bit. Got all those cools in here. Now it's really the top layer of fur that has pretty much, brings the warmth of anything coming through. Like when you get to these outside edges. Hopefully I have enough paint for that. I do. Gotta switch around here. That's just a little bit too rich. This color here is the blue. This is oxide red, it's blue with ochre in it. And then I put cat orange in it. That's this color. I'm just going to speed ahead here and just get a little bit of more fur. This is the top layer of this fur. It's putting in that, and that's just too gold. A little bit there. So I wanted to go over here and just add just a little white to it. And it's going to pretty much get in here a little bit. And I start to get back here. I'm going to try and get back here a little bit farther now and kind of repeat what I was talking about, staggering brush strokes from one row to the next. When you get things like this, to look for a little bit of staggering of your brush strokes in between and stuff, so they don't get too close to the same strokes next to each other all the time. It just kind of clump up that way too much. And so, that's also if that's really something to look for. You might want to clump them together though too, but as you can see, this color is really close to what I have already down here. So let's start here. Clumping here, because going across here, it starts off a little thin on the back neck, and then it gets a little higher. And then I'm flipping the brush where I get color again. It's just going to keep changing a little bit. Flip it again. Okay, so when I do the next one, next stroke area, I don't want that same kind of pattern. I want to. This is a slightly different pattern. So the paint's not, thick here, thick here. It's thicker here, where this is thinner. Same up there too. You can swish it. Get some paint going up top here. You do need some light. That's where the light is. I'm gonna go to the red side. I'm gonna go a little bit red. Oh yeah. Okay, done. Now these are gonna be just nice long strokes from the edge here. Just let it come off the brush. This is the red side of that. That's oxide. This oxide red, blue, with white with ochre down here. Just staggering your brush strokes so they're not next to each other, so you don't get a run. So the other side, I'm going to go a little bit more on the green side. So I'm going to go over here, the green side of that same color. Yeah. This is backed blue or oxide red and phthalo green for this side with ochre in it. Basically, it's just swapping out blue and green. Okay, good enough. There. Let me get the highlight a little bit better. A little lighter for the ears, maybe. On the edge of these ears, they got to stand out a little bit more. But they are just going to be a lot thinner too. And I did the inside. With the bristle brush, and then I'm going to come back. I just come back and do the outside shape. So you do the inside shape, you catch it with the bristle brush going around, and then on the outsides, you just come back and shape it a little bit. It's tough to shape both spots with one stroke. So it's really thinking of that as a shape, that whole little highlight as a shape too. And that's, how this guy's going to go. I can start to change around a little bit. Now get a little more orange in the colors. I can come back in here and get his eyebrows a little bit better. Now I can get the color in there. Just a little bit of orange versions of these guys. Soften the back edge of the shape. And this looks like it's going to be down here on the side a little bit. And back in here. Okay. This is the lighter version. The light version is going to go in the middle of the nose. Just going to bring it into here a little bit. I'm trying to use the color that I have here and just come up on that back side here. Don't want to miss that little bit of lip in the water. And gonna be a little hard with a bristle brush to get that cleanness I need. But the same thing over here too, just a little bit of it on the outside. Just breaks that line just a hair. Push the brush up a little bit and get a couple little, let these guys open up. You can get that really nice technique of that going against the grain. And then the last thing, coming back with this is a bristle. Okay. Got to clean it all the way out. It had a lot of purple in it. I was using it for the nose and using the highlight for that. I was talking about getting that highlight. Skin right around this nose here. Being lighter than the back edge. All right. Now I'm just gonna put in a little bit of light here. Just take my where did I put it? There it is. Take off the highlight. I already have it marked pretty much in orange, so just gonna take it off. Break these guys down into like these guys. The front one here is groups of three. Big three, the one big one. Second one kind of comes across here a little bit, and then a third one that shorter comes in here. The same over on this side, right above the darks, usually. This might work out really well because it's kind of the way it's beating up. Yeah. And then just look flat of the thing, a little bit pushing this stuff around, taking it off. Look, as you can see, you're not getting, that phthalo kind of stained it really kind of green, underneath. So it will work on these littler dots, so when you put them in, you can put them in pretty quickly. But some of this stuff, this one definitely I would like to paint, and you might have to paint a few of these guys too, put some blue into them because they're just a little heavier on this side. And again, rings, everything runs in rings. These guys are really have a relationship, these marks, that they are running together. They're not really all independent. They really these guys are kind of connected. You know. Okay. And that's about it. I'm gonna just throw in a little bit of light, or since I have it, just wipe that out here. But that's how it's gonna go. We're about run a few minutes late over for the class, but not much. But with the bristle brush, I'll be putting in this area here I was talking about from the water here. I'm going to start with the paint clean against the green and push it and then drag it. We might get a couple out of that, not many. I should have, what I would have said, start right here. Start here and work your way back. But then when you get done here, you could come back here and when your paint gets used up clean wise pretty quickly, you go there. This side, the same thing, maybe more blue on this side. I'm going to use some blue on that side too, but get it here and then push it up a little bit, come back and push it up. Wipe your brush so you have clean paint when you grab clean paint. The same thing. Just tone this one back because depth, our things are just a little bit darker over here. I mean, dark in the back. And again, look for it in this wet area right here. Twist it in here. Okay, there you go. Everything but this guy. And here, only 2 seconds. I clean my brush. Let's put it in with the phthalo on the blue side. As you can see, it could have even gone bluer. There's a touch more oil, and this one is 3/4 of the way there. We got a great block in. And like I said, this comes into here. Definitely at the end, I'd definitely be throwing some knife work in, you know. Just a little fun. All right, I'll bring you in on close up on it. It's, solid. I mean, the it's starting to work. I still got a lot of fur to paint. One more round of fur to get in there. The highlights, just marked them for you. Trying to show you, you can switching so you don't have the same color on this both sides as the same strength. So this one's on red, this one's on blue, and so it's just has a little twerk to it. Anyway, that's what I wanted to do. So that's what we got for you today in the classes. Let's see what you guys did. So for you guys painted, turn your cameras on and your mics up, and let's get to the critique of this biz. We got Kathleen, we got Ellen and Sarah. Oh, everybody's up. Okay, Ellen jumped up front.
Oh, let's see. I'm showing this on my phone.
Wow. That looks
Cool.
that looks like a great bear.
Oh, he's got a ways to go.
Yeah, he does have a way to go, but definitely jumps out at you, bear. I like the simplicity of the water you got already going. That
Okay.
swirl is really cool. That's, I soften the edges, a little bit on the from dark to the light. It's all soft edges, but it all just runs together. And don't muddle it up too much too.
Okay.
Okay, because
Okay.
that will be don't blend them out. Try to make, like I say, quick blends,
Okay.
between the two colors instead of gradations and stuff. You don't
The,
want
the
closer-
fur or the water
the
or both?
water. The water.
Okay.
The water was
Okay.
jumping out at me. Perfect little that twist to it. Looks great. Good amount of paint.
Okay.
Way to go. Good looking bear.
Thanks.
Okay. Sarah's next.
That was fun.
Thank you. Ah,
Wow.
that looks like a bear around your place. Yeah, I could see you went outside and painted that thing from life, didn't you?
Yeah.
Good job on that so far.
Thank you.
Greens are good and healthy down there. A nice twist. Good job on that. Yeah, I think when you get the, finish the fur up and get the greens in, that's coming along really well. You probably, I'd say, watch your white. Keep the darks though as much as you can in the ears. The ears are going, you'll get back to it. That's where it looks a little foggy, and it could be the camera being foggy too.
Mhm.
So, yeah, eyes look good. It's well drawn out. Okay, it's well drawn out. Yeah, to get to finish putting the water in, and I think it's gonna be beautiful.
Cool. Thank
Have-
you.
Yeah. All right, congrats.
Thank you.
Way to keep up too. You guys are amazing. You guys being able to keep up.
It's hard.
It's hard, and sometimes I don't call out the colors that much. So, hi Kathleen. We're seeing nice feet there.
Oh, okay. Oh, shoot. I got a speaker.
There you
I
go.
tried something different.
Oh yeah, you painted over one.
Yeah, and then I tried to keep the sunset, but I don't know. Is it too much?
Yeah, just a touch.
Yeah, with the yellow.
He looks like he's on fire. His back's on fire. He's escaping one of the wildfires. Maybe this has something to do with that.
Yeah, it's a message I'm sending.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I just thought I would try it and see what happened.
I think
It's fun.
you can.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
what I thought.
fun. Just a little bit
a little
more.
over the edge.
No. On the back, just on that light side, it's pulling my face. It's pulling me
Away from the bear?
face.
Yeah.
So tone it back, tone it down. I think, and see what you can keep out of it. If
Okay.
you can keep that for the highlights in the top of the fur. So it's just a little bit less in there. That's
Yeah.
fine. Try that. That's the thing. It's oil paints. You can just paint it out.
Right.
As you can see, you did really well in the water. The good, strong greens in the water, boy, they look good.
Well, thank you. I
like
had to kind of lay it in to get it to work.
Yeah, I did not get a chance to lay mine in like that, and I'm looking forward to doing that because that looks gorgeous. That really holds its head in place. Nice.
Okay.
Good job. Really.
Well, thank
when
you.
I see the lower part, it looks great. Yeah, that other stuff is pulling my eye out a little bit.
I had a
Got the
feeling you would
socket.
like it. So what would you suggest, like, to tone it down? What would you do?
Oh yeah, I just go back to the regular colors, whatever you used on the face, and that.
You think I should let it dry a little to do it, or just?
Do you have that yellow in there? Was that
No,
yellow?
not really. Well,
okay. That's from
a
the
little
old
yellow
painting,
in the
right?
nose, but
That's from the old painting, right?
yeah, that's all the sky in the old painting.
Yeah. No, you paint right over that.
Okay.
I'm just talking. I'd say the head just leave alone and just paint the back.
Okay.
All
right.
get the fur, the humps in the fur. I think would really help. Just leave just a hair of that light as your highlights.
Okay.
Just not quite as much. That's all.
Yeah, I know. It was
really close. I mean, it's not that far off, really.
Okay. Well, thanks,
I
James.
like what you're trying, and it's fun to try it like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'd just experiment a little, but
yeah, when you sell it for $1 million, you can say I had helped you out.
oh yeah, in my dreams.
Right,
Okay.
right. I know you. Anyway, yeah, people like bears too, so you might have a chance on selling with something like this and get rid of it, so we don't have to stack them too much more. Which is, it is a problem, right? I got to do something here, and it's either buy another shelf and fill that one, or sell some work somehow. No one's buying right now out there.
Yeah, it's not a good time for the economy.
Not everybody's thrilled with it. Anyway, next week like I said, we're going into next semester. I mean, our fall semester next week, but we do have a week off after that. It's like we start 1 week and then we go 1 week off and then we go 4 weeks. It's only 5 set of 5. That's all I could get in there. But sign up if you guys want to. We're going to, again, on Saturday morning. It's going to be a little heavier in the animals, but we'll still get some landscapes in there, and maybe cityscape with some animals, or an animal in it. Simple thing too. We'll figure it out. Still life in there too. Who knows? I do know, but that's just the way it's gonna go. We'll get a variety of things, and you guys. But they'll all be, good, solid images, I think. So
They always are.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Even
what
lawnmowers.
I was hoping I was going to get that. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me this summer on these guys. And have a good day. And we'll see you guys all hopefully next week.
Thanks, Jim. It was
Thanks, Deb.
fun.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.